Hey everybody, this is Mad Matt Carter. Thank you so much for watching the AIWF Network YouTube channel as well as the AIWF Ringside Wrestling channel. If you like what you see, please do us a big favor. Hit that like button, hit subscribe, and ring that bell to get notifications every time we post new videos on both our channels. It means a lot to us, and thanks a lot for watching once again.
Welcome everybody to Pro Wrestling Wire. This is Rick Del Santo. I have two very special guests today. And Lou Jacobs and Cindy Hart. See, I forgot it already. So, how's it going, everybody?
Good.
Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah. I'm glad to finally have you two on here. Finally, it's been years in the making, I have to say, probably. Yeah.
Too long.
Yeah. So you guys have a big show coming up this coming Saturday, which is going to be a lot of fun. That's Outcast Wrestling Revolution. That's your new promotion that you started. Why don't we talk a little bit about how you guys got started with that and what made you guys start promoting your own shows?
Well, I had been helping run another company, and me and Lou met and got involved romantically. We found out that we had the same ideas and goals. I had at the time like the money to start up, and so we put our heads together. We got everything. We got the ball rolling. We got a beautiful venue. We started running a school as well. We have a couple of students, not too many right now, but we're working on that. It takes time, you know. And he does pretty much everything for the school that involves training. Everybody knows I'm a little crippled, but he does all the training. I'm like the bookkeeper. When it comes to the shows, it just made sense, you know.
Yeah. So let's talk about the show a little bit. You have the show in Groton, Connecticut at the Yukon campus?
Yes.
Is that correct? Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about it. I know I have some screen grabs here of the matches. So I'm going to pronounce the name, try to pronounce the street, or the venue. So this is like, now if I remember correctly, this is your second show under this name? Under this?
Nope, this is our first show.
This is your first show. My bad. I'm sorry. Okay, my bad. So let's talk about it. You have this, you guys have a very good talent roster as well.
Oh,
so
yes.
Lou, you are the, if I remember correctly, you're the heavyweight champion over there?
Yes, sir.
Yes. How do you feel about this, becoming the heavyweight champion of the world?
Oh man, I'm excited. I love it.
Yeah.
And you know, everybody's going to be gearing towards me trying to get that title, and I'm here for it. So
yeah.
It's been years in the making. I've been doing this for 24 years, and you know, it's been 23 that I haven't, you know, and some change that I haven't had a title. So this is my first major title.
Wow. Okay, let's talk about your career. You've started, like you said, over 20 years, and you came out of if I remember correctly, the Santino brothers.
No,
right? No?
I came from when I first started, it was California Championship Wrestling.
Okay.
And I was trained by a guy named Matrix and B-Boy.
Okay. B-Boy.
And of course, B-Boy is a CZW Hall of Fame.
Right.
And then from there, I went to Revolution Pro, which was owned by Ron Rivera, who had done a few things in WCW, and he was very attached to the Lucha area. And in fact, that's where Super Dragons from Scorpio Sky, a lot of the PWG guys, you know, all stem from that.
What was it like training out there with that and being part of that scene? Now, I remember talking in the past that you came up with a lot of the guys that were, you know, guys like Scorpio Sky and Chaos and stuff like that. And Joey, was it Joey Ryan that you mentioned to me?
Joey Ryan. Yeah. You know, there's a lot of guys. Human Tornado came out later. Young Bucks were around there. I remember when they started. There's a lot of names coming out there. And then the people that would come and help us train too, you know, the names like Samoa Joe, Rocky Romero, Ricky Reyes, I sat under the learning tree of Conan for a while because he was
Wow.
really good friends with my tag team partner. So
Yep. And from there, you got a chance to work with XPW,
yes,
right? Yeah. And what was that? And you got to work Ron Killings. I've seen that match. I've actually watched it
yes,
recently. Yeah.
yeah, that was amazing.
Yeah.
Ron, oh my God, like the amount he can move for his age, he's a phenomenal, and he's a hilarious guy.
Yeah.
Gives me pictures all the time. I love it though. It's like having a little peek into his history, you know.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
a lot of people don't actually realize the history and the background that he comes from. So they see him and they're like, whatever. But then they
Yeah.
find out and they're like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I get a lot of, oh my God, you were shady, and like, yeah, I was shady when I
So what do you think of your time in XPW? Was that towards the end of the era of the
It
original Ron?
was.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it was around 02, I think. And me and my tag team partner were we were in there for like infiltration of the company from like indie companies and stuff, just infiltrating XPW. And then when that kind of died off, we stayed.
Okay. All right. What do you think of Rob Black and him restarting the company? I don't know.
I think it's great if he can get it off the ground the way it used to. I mean, XPW was, and for me, it was, and I know a lot of people have mixed thoughts and feelings about XPW and the things that happened over there and stuff. But for me, it was kind of a launching point for me because it got me noticed, and I was kind of big back then. Like I could get booked almost anywhere, and then I joined the military right after that. So
let's talk about your career. You joined the U.S. Navy, correct?
yes.
Yeah. And then that brought you traveled internationally, I believe.
Yeah. So I was a hospital corpsman, which means I worked with the Marines, and I was pretty much their medical person. So yeah, I went all around the world, deployed, which got me out of shows. I couldn't wrestle for 6 to 8 months while I was deployed and things like that. But I stayed around small shows and things like that.
And what brought you to Connecticut?
The Navy. I got stationed out here, and I came out here, and I was working at the hospital on base, and I was trying to find out wherever I could wrestle.
Yeah, and of course, I don't understand why people move to Connecticut, but you might not have met this lovely young lady here. I've lived in Connecticut my whole life, and it's drag. So, yeah.
I mean, I never wanted to move to Connecticut, to be fair. I just found the right person to make me do it. A lot of people know both my parents passed earlier this year. I just didn't want to be in Massachusetts. Thank you. I just don't want to be in Massachusetts anymore. And him and I, we were just so good together. It just made sense for me to come down here. But I have not run shows in Connecticut, especially not this area. Nothing runs down here. And that's awesome because we have a different demographic than other companies and different fan base down here. We're far enough from other companies to where we don't really interfere with them, even if we run on the same dates, stuff like that. It was a big decision coming down to Connecticut, move my 2 kids and my 2 cats and, all my garbage. But it's been it's been awesome down here. Everyone's nice. I'm starting to fit in down here and make a few friends. And, we've been out flyering, and the restaurants and stuff, businesses around here, they're really cool about putting up our flyers, which means a lot to us. And, the school's got the flyers posted everywhere right now, which is fantastic because, UConn students, they're going to want to come see some action. And the Navy base is right there. So, I mean, that's fantastic.
Yeah, being a veteran myself, having a veteran-owned business out here, it helps a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, Rick, we actually would love to show you something. The biggest title on the line is indeed our heavyweight championship, which, of course, Lou is our heavyweight champion. And right here on PWW, we are going to reveal our championship. So,
well, I'm excited.
Sorry about that. Here's a fight.
You're good.
I'm going to bring this in right now. This is
Ooh.
our heavyweight title. It's beautiful. It is. I designed all the belts, which there you go. Now he's wearing it. You see, he's gonna wear it everywhere. I designed all these. He did the graphic, and then I put the belts together. But we have some really nice looking belts. I'm really excited about that. And I just wanted you guys to be the first to see this before
Oh,
anybody.
that's a beautiful belt. I like it.
And
Thank
I'm
you.
putting it on the line against an old friend of mine, Rudy Rogers, at the show. Me and Rudy go way back. He was trained by guys like Joey Ryan and Brian Kendrick. And he's really good. And I've known him for a very long time, and we've never faced each other. And now he wants a shot, so we're giving it to him.
Wow. He's coming all the way to Groton, Connecticut. Wow.
Yeah.
You mentioned
We
that
got
there's
Paradox coming too from North Carolina, which
oh wow.
is a trip, you know.
Yeah, he's another one that was, he was given the thumbs up and everything by Brian Kendrick. So
Brian
All right, cool.
Kendrick approved
Yeah.
and recommended.
That's awesome because I mean Brian Kendrick is a legend. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
So yeah. So you mentioned there's nothing in that area. It seems that in Connecticut there's a bunch of promotions, and each of them have that area, and there's a lot of dead spots in Connecticut where there's like absolutely nothing, and people really have to travel, sometimes an hour to see wrestling in Connecticut. And it's pretty cool that you guys are now covering an area that didn't have anything.
Yeah.
yeah, and we're really excited about it because it's a whole new fan base, and a lot of people we talked to, they were like, oh my God, there's wrestling out here now. And, they didn't even know about the independent scene. And so we're hopefully shedding some light on, the scene for them. And, who knows, maybe it'll get them to look at other companies too, like NWW Extreme, which is not very far away from here.
We love them over there.
Places like that, places like CPW, that, is 45 minutes away, which isn't a terrible
It's not
drive
bad
at
at
all.
Yeah, we're like in the middle of everything actually. Like everything is about 50 minutes to an hour from us. Other company wise, like PAPW is like 50 minutes from us. Kaiju's not almost it's like an hour, but love them. Like we have been doing work with other companies. I think everybody should do it. It costs $0 to support another company. I love free stuff, Rick. I love free stuff. So here we are picking up other companies.
Kaiju's been super supportive of us.
Yeah.
Sure. I've yet to be at a show of theirs, but the promoter Ashley is a really awesome person.
She's the sweetest person.
NWW Extreme has been amazing.
Yeah.
Troop has been
He's great.
Super, helping us out, and just he's going to be at our show.
Our friends in Maine Premier Wrestling. I have guys asking to come down. They want us back out there. We had a lot of fun out there. We were, the good guys, and we got a pop. We come out to Wilson Phillips now, and everybody loves it. They start saying, someday somebody's going to make you want to turn around and say goodbye. Yeah, that one. So we sing
Speaking of partnerships, you guys have been up to BCW a couple times now, correct? Bay State?
Yes. So back a little while back, I had actually been running war with them.
Okay. Yes.
My problem is no longer with BCW. I've been watching Luis. I respect him. My problem's with Dan the Man. So at our show, we have Dan the Man versus PJ Savage for our Ground Zero Championship, which is like our second prestigious title, I would say. And Dan had actually approached me. We're about to put it out, and had said some words, and I had said some words. So I will be ringside for that match to make sure that no tomfoolery goes on. So
And that's going to be a killer.
Got to watch out for Dan.
I know.
He's
I
a
used to
sneaky
be very
individual.
PJ's not anybody to mess with either. PJ's one of the toughest guys. I've faced him before. He's one of the toughest guys I've ever faced.
Yeah, I've had the opportunity to see him several times and work with him, and he is the name Savage it's not just a name. He's pretty crazy. Yeah.
He lives it. He lives it.
And what I like about him too is he'll bring something out of you that you didn't know you had.
Right. Yeah. I mean, he's trained by the legendary Johnny Rods. So he's he's just had he's just had a really cool career since expanding, I guess, and getting out there more outside of the Johnny Rodz school,
Yeah.
it seems.
Yeah. We love having him down. He is, we love him so much. We're going to keep him on our like core roster. Like
Mhm.
he's important to us. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
But we're also bringing a lot of guys from out of town,
Yeah.
guys that I know, really good friends of mine. I plan on bringing B-Boy out, Human Tornado.
Mhm.
I've already talked with Scorpio Sky. If we can get the calendar dates right, hopefully I can bring him in at some point.
Mhm.
And then she's got tons of people too that she knows that that she could bring in as well, which is I think it'd be a great mix of having our talent mixed in with some bigger names.
Right.
The other thing too is we don't want the same like 15, 20 guys on every single show because that gets redundant. People get bored. Down here they have, no previous notion of what's going on, who's who. So this is our show to introduce that, and establish ourselves.
Right.
And that's exactly what we're doing.
It just seems like in our area, in Connecticut in general, it seems like a lot of the promotions, there's like probably 7 or 8 indies around here nowadays, maybe a couple more. I don't know. A lot of the same promotions keep using a lot of the same guys over and over.
Yeah.
So it's like almost like seeing the same show in a way. Maybe they're just facing different people. But it's good to add some variety and spice.
Absolutely.
You guys do something a little bit different. Just like Kaiju brings in a lot of people that not a lot of people necessarily know in the area, and it adds something different, and while at the same time giving them exposure.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And my son, Jericho, he is obsessed with Tiffany Avatar. We call her
That's
the
awesome.
princess. And all I have to say to him now is, Jericho, are you being bad? And he's like, he won't say anything. I'm like, if you're bad, I have to tell the princess, right? And he's like, Mom, please don't tell the princess. Please don't tell her. Don't tell the princess. It's so funny. And then he'll be sweet. He came up and gave me a kiss on the cheek the other day. It was like, Mom, was that sweet? I was like, yeah, it was. And he goes, are you going to tell the princess I was sweet? And I was like, maybe. We'll see. It depends on how you behave for the rest of the day. It was
So your kids are wrestling fans.
Yes, actually, so my daughter's been rolling around a little bit out in the ring.
Uh-oh.
And I'm hoping to hook her and grab her right in there.
She's been begging me to.
Yeah, so we think we're gonna start her off. And Jericho, he likes watching it, but he's not like in person. He likes watching it, but he's not totally invested yet. Not totally convinced, but he does love the princess. I will say he's his favorite.
Yeah, my kids are kind of the same. Like Jamie, my 9-year-old that goes to a lot of the shows with me, he has his favorites that he meets in person. You know what I mean? Flying Eye and guys like that. But then it's like on TV, he won't ever sit down and watch it. You know?
Right. Exactly.
And I've been bringing my 14-year-old to a lot of shows since he's been visiting from Ohio, and he really enjoys the live aspect of it. And I brought him to the NWA show over the weekend. He got to see a whole variety of people that he's never seen before, really. The only person he was familiar with was Wrecking Ball, really.
Oh,
so, so he had, and he absolutely enjoyed it. You know what I mean? So it's really cool to expose your kids to wrestling and have them become a fan.
Yeah.
I did not have parents that like literally really didn't sit there and watch it with me. They just brought me to, a WWE event, and it was kind of all over after that when I was a kid.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
and mine grew up in it, and so they're not they didn't really grab hold of the wrestling thing. They're just like, yeah, okay, dad wrestles, whatever.
That's a wrestler. Yeah. But it's either you end up really getting into it, or as a kid, whether your parents are into it or you don't at all. There's like people that the kids that just don't care at all. And I've known, through doing this and being involved in stuff, and some of these people that I meet have just like, oh, my dad was a wrestler, and they've just basically been brought up in the industry, and he just loved it his whole life. And it's like kind of, I wouldn't say it's expected. It's just like, I just didn't know. I just wanted to do it. That's it.
Yeah. And it's funny because my kids see, a lot of people that they used to know and or used to go to shows with when they were a lot younger.
Yeah.
on TV now, and they're like, oh wow, that's
Yep.
so and so, that's Scorpio Sky. Like, yep.
Not a lot of people know that. I used to train too, and I've met a lot of people on my way through my journey. I cannot, because like I said earlier, I'm crippled now. I can't do it anymore, but I still know a lot of people. I still see people on TV that I've met in real life, and I'm like, whoa, that's pretty cool, you know. But I've been in it since I was pretty much born. I was like born into like just watching it. I had an uncle. I still have that uncle who's very, very into it. My mom would like encourage it because it was something that I really loved and she saw. And then later on in life, I ended up like I was 16 when I got involved. So I've been around wrestling a long time. A lot of these guys I know, like Bull Dread, from the time I was like 16 years old. Picture Dave, like just a lot of these guys, and it's something that I personally can never quit on. There's other ways to stay involved, and it's keeping me happy right now. At least supporting him, and working with other companies, and just being a part of things. It's a great feeling. It's a great environment. There are great people around us, and we appreciate every ounce of support that every single person is showing for us right now.
Yeah, it's no matter how many times I say that I don't want to go to shows anymore or do anything in wrestling anymore. I continue. It's just you it's hard
It's
to
just there.
it's hard to walk away. I'll be like, I'm tired, I'm worn out. I'll take a week off, and then I'll just be like, nope, there's 3 shows this week, and I'll go to 2 out of the 3 or whatever, and then just hooks you. Sometimes being involved is just that's the harder part, you know what I mean? And then but the itch is always there once you say that you don't want to do it anymore. I don't know, you've been doing it 20 years. I've only been doing this like 6 or 7. So,
Jimmy Valiant, Boogie Woogie, legendary Boogie Woogie. Wait a minute, baby. Wait a minute. Hang on. What are you doing around Who was that calling you, buddy?
This is our neighborhood.
You done made a mistake.
You should be retired, Boogie.
Wait a minute, boys. Let me take a bite of my king dog. You say king dog? King dog? Is that what he said? What happened? Come on, boy.
Don't let hunger bully you. Get yourself a king dog, and you too can become a super hunger fighter.
So, what else you guys got going on? You guys just wrestled New World Extreme. You said you wrestled Ryan Frost up there. Did we talk about that on air, or was that off air?
No, that was awesome.
All right, so tell me about working. Yeah, I think you mentioned it off air.
I love Ryan. Ryan's always a tough competitor. He knows what he's doing in there.
Yeah.
This time I was able to get the best of him. He has a broken thumb, and so I use that to my advantage. As upset as anybody might be that I did that, well, whatever. Mm-hmm. We go in there, we find a weakness, and we take that weakness and take advantage of it.
No matter what the camera shows, I did not interfere at all. He did it all by himself. Okay.
Maybe a little bit.
Wow. There's a lot of great talent up there, like you said. We were talking previously, but there's a lot of great talent at New World Extreme. I mean, a lot of guys from up here there. Like now, Garcia is the champion up there. Is he still currently the champion? Yeah.
He retained against BMT, who is also, I've known Ariel for a long time too. That's another one that she's like an original for me. And she's there with BMT, and it was like a blast from my past, and it was a great match. It was like on the edge of your seat. Like, it was so good. They have really great talent up there, and I actually love their shows. I love working there. It's a very good environment. The locker room's awesome. Like from the top to the bottom, that whole promotion is just fantastic.
Yeah. Lou, now you worked for a long time for PAPW. You trained under Roma and Mario. Do you mind talking about this a little bit? Because I'm a huge Roma fan. I always was growing up.
Mario and Roma.
So I'd like to hear stories about training with Paul.
Those guys are hilarious. I remember one time I was trying to help a guy with hip tosses, and so I was trying to explain, how you know, a lot of this stuff is real. And I gave him a legit judo hip toss, and I mean, I flipped him quick on his back, and Mario just stood up and was like, "Yes!"
One of the things I like about going, like I go hang out on Mondays or Tuesdays or whatever, whenever I don't have to work, and listening to the stories that Mario has of the road back in the day.
So many stories.
Yes, you get lost in listening to those stories sometimes. It's just phenomenal to sit there and be able to listen to, you know, stories of the WWF in the 1980s.
Oh yeah, it's great hearing those stories too, because you know those are guys you looked up to growing up, and to hear some of those backstage stories from those guys is just phenomenal.
Yeah, and he was always billed from Milford, Connecticut. I lived about 2 towns over, so that was always something to me that was very exciting to listen to, that he was from Milford, Connecticut. And we used to drive by the gym as a kid that he used to train as, like going into town. So I used to. I was like, hey, is Mario in there? Like, you know, as a kid. So, but, you know, that was, kind of my little kid moment. So that was cool. You've got some acting projects. You're a famous television actor or movie actor now. Let's talk a little bit about this.
I'm trying to step them. I've been on a few projects for Lifetime. I've been on a couple for Hallmark. I did a small thing on Mr. and Mrs. Smith on Amazon Prime. And then I'm working on some independents now. Article 92, which I'm one of the stunt coordinators for. So I help come up with a lot of the fight scenes and stunt scenes and help the actors fall safely and you know, do whatever they needed to do fight scene wise in the safest possible way. And wrestling's really kind of helped me with that, because a lot of it has the same aspects, you know, I mean, with the stunts and how to fall properly and things like that, and how to sell, you know, how to you got to teach the actors that too, especially actors who've never been in a fight before. So you got to explain to them what it feels like to be punched in the face and how they should react to it.
Yeah, that's it's pretty much they're very close, I guess. Like I hate to say it about wrestling, but it's like theater in a way. Performance theater in a way.
Yeah. It absolutely is.
But it's definitely something that, you know,
It's a little more violent.
if you've never been trained in it, then, you know, definitely don't come and just do it, because there's a lot of potential for getting hurt and things, and safety is a big thing.
Yeah. Do you mind if we do the rundown of the show for this Saturday?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right, so I have here the Women's Championship. The Women's Platinum Championship. Gonna be Sammy Chaos, Little Mean Kathleen, and Corlin. Corlin's freaking.
She actually cannot make it, Cora. So
Gotcha.
it will just be Sammy Chaos versus LMK. I'm so excited for that match. I love LMK. I've been a huge. She knows I love her. And I love Sammy. She's my prize champion. He's like my 4th prize champion.
She's amazing.
There's 5 titles. He's my 4th prize champion.
One's vacant. It doesn't count.
I mean, 2 are technically vacant, but
We're excited for that one. I think Little Mean Kathleen is going to give that spark. You know, she's going to always be coming at Sammy, and so, you know, I can't wait to see what happens with that.
I think she's going to pull out all the stops to win that if she can. Like, it's something definitely to look forward to.
All right, for the I-91 contendership, you guys, what is this, a 4-way? 4-way.
It's a fatal 4-way.
Yeah.
Red
sorry,
Dot,
Yep.
Casey Lycan, Daniel Riley, and Two Buff.
Oh, Jesus, sorry. That's going to be an exciting matchup, you know.
Yeah, but you know what? They're actually like good guys with us because we just love them. So I mean, they're great guys.
And then of course you have all right, let me go back to this one. Hang on. Let's see. I guess Steve Garcia is going against Matt Awesome. You guys are bringing Matt Awesome into.
Yes.
That's pretty incredible. Great guy.
I love my Jersey guys out there.
WWE Extreme let us put have their title on our show. So, we're grateful for that. So the heavyweight championship will be on the line for New World Wrestling Extreme.
Mhm.
That's awesome. And of course, we got PJ Savage and Dan the Man, which this is just going to be just a classic, I think. This is probably
We
going
might-
to be.
Oh,
Yeah.
We're going to tighten the ropes a little extra for that one.
Did we talk about Paradox and Bryant Starr?
We have not.
All right, let's
Um,
go for it. That's going to be the
and-
pre-show, it says on according
Yes.
to that. Yeah.
So pretty much our pre-shows are like tryouts for our company. We
Mhm.
have a lot of people trying to get in with us, and that includes some names. So there is like a waiting list right now. So our pre-show is like, hey, come here, show us what you got, and if we like you, we'll bring you back. But with Paradox's recommendation and approval from Brian Kendrick, I feel like we're gonna end up bringing him back. And Bryant Starr, I've seen some of his stuff. I think he's more green, but like he's more freshly trained. But he's pretty good, and he's got a good look to him. I think that's going to be a great match to start off the show and get things going, get the crowd going. I feel like that's going to grab everybody's attention immediately, and that's what we want. We want the show to be like on the edge of your seat from start to finish.
I think their momentum is going to have, everybody else that's on that show is going to look at that and be like, okay, we're going to have to step it up a notch.
Yep. Absolutely. Yep.
We talked briefly about your match with Rudy Rogers, right?
Yes.
A bit earlier, and that sounds like it's going to be a great match.
Oh yeah, I can't wait. Rudy's he was a championship wrestling from Hollywood. He's been through there. He's been all over the place too. And for some reason or another, we've just never been able to face each other. We've been really good friends for years. And now, he wants what I have, and I'm not going to give it to him.
That ringside to make sure he doesn't. Because that's another thing, Rick. I did step back from ring announcing to manage him because I have just way more fun just managing. I don't want to ring announce anymore. And we have Eddie Diesel ring announcing, who's actually a comedian. He's actually a Springfield police officer. Love the guy with my whole heart. He's just an outstanding person. And I'm really excited that he's going to be our announcer because I feel like he's going to get that crowd laughing and going and, captivated. He's got that look to him too, where he's pretty captivating.
He's a showman.
He's a showman.
100%.
Yeah.
With a lot
Eddie-
of natural talent, I might add.
Eddie is awesome. He's a great guy. I got the chance to sit in the booth with him at one show a few months back, and I think that we clicked automatically, and I had a little blast, especially with him terrorizing Paid in Full throughout the whole match.
Oh.
So
Which I've been training Eddie recently, so that way, if he gets in any more altercations like that, he can defend himself a little bit.
Yeah.
good. Did you? I thought that I saw you guys mention something about tag team titles at some point. Is that coming up still?
So we do have our tag titles at not this show, our next show, which I'm shooting for October 26th. We are shooting for October 26th, I should say. The tag titles are brand new. They are vacant. We are going to have a gauntlet match for those titles. So
Yeah, we don't have the teams all decided yet, but
no, but we do have some. And there will be guys from Maine coming in. There will be some local guys that everybody knows. I don't want to give it away yet. I want it to be a surprise when we release the card.
Okay.
So right now, just know we have big plans for that, and it's going to be fantastic. Like
Sure.
we're
Yes.
very big on storytelling, and that's what we're trying to do.
You guys are gonna have to come back and once it gets closer to that show.
Oh, absolutely.
anytime you
Yeah.
want to come on, I'm more than happy to come on.
Yeah.
You have been a great help to us all too. And,
We
you're
appreciate
super supportive.
Thank you. I mean, I think you guys got something good going here, and of course, I'm always a fan of more wrestling, and not less. So,
And I think this should be like that, especially, and I think more promoters should be helping each other out, because
Right.
nobody on this level is trying to steal anything from anyone else,
Right.
and we have different demographics, we have different shows, it's something different for fans.
We're never going to tell our guys you can't go work somewhere else. Like, that's, to me, that's so ridiculous. Like, they aren't signed, they're not on TV, come on, like, except you helped us get that Roku spot.
Yes.
And that's something super exciting, and we love you to death for it, because we
Yeah.
are going to make episodes.
I'm very excited about that. We can talk a little bit about that. So I'm very excited about that. I'm not, whenever you guys are ready for that, it's probably this fall, I'm guessing. And, as things are premiering, and I have gotten a lot of wrestling programming for that television station. So it's like, they do a Saturday night block from 3 to like 7. And then there's
Oh,
going to be,
nice.
now there's going to be a Sunday morning block as well, which is going to include even more wrestling that's not on the Saturday block. So I host like 3 shows on the damn channel. So
Oh, wow.
I'm pretty excited.
You're pretty busy is what you are.
I barely sleep, to be honest with you.
No.
On top of working 70-hour weeks, and then traveling to shows on the weekend. So I'm excited for you guys to be coming on that channel, because, it's going to be something that's, I want to get the product out there to more people. And so
We appreciate that.
Get eyes on it. So it's really cool that you guys have accepted that and being on that.
Oh yeah, we are very grateful, very appreciative, and we won't let you down. We're gonna produce some fire footage. Is what we're gonna do.
And
Yeah,
as we go,
cool.
it's just going to get better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Secondhand Heroes and Home for Wayward Villains is a comic book shop and gaming store that also features Magic the Gathering and D&D. Located at 18184 Leesville Road in Evington, Virginia, Secondhand Heroes is your one-stop shop for you to get your nerd on. Open 7 days a week at 11 a.m. They don't close until the dice stop rolling. They buy, sell, trade, barter, and haggle. Specializing in collectible toys, both vintage and modern, comics, Magic the Gathering, video games, console, and arcade cabinets to play, all set to free play. Host your game night with us. Monday night D&D video game competitions, and so much more. Something for the collector and gamer in us all. Call 434-317-0121 or shoot us an email with any questions to secondhandheroesva@gmail.com. Note, secondhandheroesva@gmail.com. That's 2ND, handheroesva@gmail.com. Come game with us.
I'm trying to think. Do you guys have anything else you'd like to talk about before we get out of here?
I don't know.
No?
We've got kind of everything out there. I know in the future, one of the events that is going to be really close to my heart is we're going to have a Pride of the Mask tournament. And
Okay.
It's just going to be masked wrestlers on that show. And that's going to be a tribute to a very good old friend of mine, Jimmy, who went as Rising Sun. You can YouTube him. You can find, he's had, classics with Super Dragon, Excalibur. He was a phenomenal wrestler. But he was a good friend of mine too. And actually, like a week before he died, I was having a hard time because I was on deployment in the Middle East. And he actually helped me out a lot, talking to me and everything through a lot of that. So, Jimmy's a very important person in my life, and we all lose somebody at some point. So,
Yeah. Well, I'm sorry to hear that, and I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to everything that you guys are doing, because I'm happy that you guys are doing this and that you guys are bringing a positive spin to professional wrestling in our area.
We are trying our best, and we won't stop until we make it happen, because that's
Absolutely.
the kind of motivation we have over
Yeah,
here.
absolutely.
I go to school and stuff too. I'm actually in the process of transferring down here. I go to school for criminal justice. I don't know, a lot of people don't know that about me. So I'm a little bit book smart.
Mhm.
So I feel like I
Smarter
can
than I
use
am.
that. No, I don't know about that. He can math. Math is my weakness. I can't math. You put algebra in front of me, it's like Arabic. I'm like, all right.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
not good at it. My 9-year-old taught himself math during the pandemic using a calculator and watching YouTube, and this kid can answer any question you ask him. And I'm just like,
That's awesome.
yeah, it's incredible. When you're stuck home, not doing anything during the pandemic, he literally
Yep.
just played around and that's it. And he just started doing it all by him. He didn't even, nobody tried to sit with him and do it. He just did it. And
Yeah.
it's just like, Jesus, man. It's like, that's our little genius right there.
Prodigy.
He's an engineer right there.
Tell him
Yeah.
to send me the stuff he was watching because maybe it'll help me. I gotta take statistics. I don't know what I'm doing.
That's right. Well, I want to thank you guys, and I'm very happy for you guys and looking forward to this weekend. So I, get out there and support independent wrestling. Why don't you tell everybody where you could find yourselves?
So we have Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. It's all Outcast Wrestling Revolution. And what other? We had
We
we have
we're
YouTube?
pretty much out everywhere. We don't have the YouTube yet, but once we start getting footage, we will.
yeah.
Okay.
And I plan on doing 30-minute episodic television type editing. I got some of my editing skills through being on TV and
Mhm.
movies and things like that. So I plan on putting that to use to edit and create something that hopefully everybody will love.
All right, cool. Awesome. And sorry, Uncle Otis could not make it today. He's out on assignment. So usually,
Yeah, he's doing potato things.
Yeah.
yeah.
We love
So
potatoes. So,
he actually is out there doing some potatoes with somebody. I think he was meeting up with somebody. So it'll be broadcast in this episode after, a great guy, and he's been a great addition to the program. So you really,
Yeah, it's awesome. I love what you guys are doing. We had something like that in Southern California called SoCal Uncensored, which
I remember. Yeah.
and they went out to pretty much every promotion, and they had all that, and it's great to have that because it gives people who don't or aren't able to go to all these shows a little bit of insight of what they're doing or what other wrestlers are doing there and stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, we want to support the independent wrestling scene because there's just so much great stuff out there, and some of these people like yourself deserve the exposure. You know what I mean? It's there's got to be a platform that gathers all this stuff, and a lot of times it's if not, it'll just fall by the wayside, and nobody will know anything down the road in the future.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
And I mean, you guys, I don't think get enough credit, because that's exactly what you guys are doing is you guys are putting all these indie promotions and all these companies out into the forefront so people can see it. And once they see it, they end up loving it. And that's the closest they'll ever get to a wrestling ring and to watching wrestlers because, when they go to some of the bigger shows and arenas and stuff, they're not that close a lot of times.
Right.
And to come to some of these shows, and you're seeing some of the same guys that are on TV sometimes.
Yeah.
And to be that up close and personal is an experience of its own.
The thing with independent wrestling is like you said, you're really upfront, but you're also getting the chance to meet a lot of these guys and, in between matches or before the show and stuff like that. You guys are out there selling your merchandise. You buy it directly from them. You give the guy $20 for his T-shirt or $15 for an autograph or what have you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's kind of that to a young kid, a young wrestling fan is a great experience.
Oh,
And
yeah.
speaking of pricing, we do allow children 7 and under for free into our shows. 7 to 11 is only 15, and if you're military, you also get a discount. Military Yukon students, you get a discount. Your ticket is $15. Otherwise, they're 20. So we're not too crazy. I've seen like $80 tickets and stuff. I think $20 is pretty reasonable.
Yeah.
And
No,
to
and
get
that's-
tickets, oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was going to say, to get tickets, you can either contact me or Lewis, or you can buy them at the door. If you buy them ahead of time, I will have seats reserved with your names on them by the time you get there. So I just wanted to throw that out there because the military and we love the kids. The kids make wrestling. Like, they literally
Yes.
make wrestling.
One
I
thing-
argued with a little girl at NWWE, and it was best
One of the things
fight
you
ever.
mentioned. One of the things you mentioned is that independent wrestling, some promotions are raising their prices to extraordinary prices. They're just ridiculous. Now, to me, one of the points of independent wrestling is that, it's a somewhat family-friendly product, and it's family-friendly not only in the product, but price-wise as well. You can take your
Yes.
family out for a quarter of the cost of going to a WWE or AEW show. Sometimes
Right.
you can, depending on the show, you can take your family out for $30, $40 plus prior to concessions and merchandise, something like that. You know what I mean? So it's, that's to me is a very important thing. And that's one of the things I love about independent wrestling as well.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you keep it reasonable. You're not completely breaking the bank, especially in the economy today.
Right.
And you're able to meet some people you never thought you'd be able to meet up close.
Mhm.
And not pay. Because I mean, if you go to cons, it's expensive to meet somebody at a
Oh
con.
my God, it is. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. I've had I've had the opportunity to meet some people that it's just, I went to a convention last year. It was like Kane and all these guys, but they're charging like sometimes like $100 for a meet and greet, which is, to me is just outlandish, completely
That's
outlandish.
phenomenal. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I paid $40 to take a picture with Braun Strowman, but that's my celebrity crush. So he knows it's okay. I would never cheat on him with Braun Strowman. Maybe. No, I wouldn't.
That's hilarious.
But yeah, even that was
Well, I
great
want to
'cause you're-
thank you guys.
Yeah, go.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry. Yeah.
Yes, thank you, Rick. We really appreciate everything you're doing for us and everybody else.
Yeah, I want to thank you guys. Well, Pro Wrestling Wire will continue to support you as well and share your stuff, write about you, all that fun stuff. So we got lots of stuff coming up. So I appreciate you guys dropping by here. And Lou and Cindy finally made your very first appearance here after God knows how long.
Yes.
Like I said, too long. Too long.
Yes. Yes. So we'll have you back before the next show. Absolutely have you back before the next show to help promote that and get the word out. So I thank you guys. And I want you guys to have a great day.